Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sophie. I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And today, I will continue reading from the book The Promise, the biography of my Guru, His Eminence, the 25th Sam Tuku Rinpoche. And we'll start from page 243. Meeting a Mahasiddha. After his ordination in Dharamsala in 1987, Sam Rinpoche traveled to Kathmandu, Nepal, where he met a Lama who would profoundly shape the course of his life. At the time, Rinpoche was staying in Samten Ling Monastery and befriended a Caucasian Truku, staying in the room just next to his, whose Lama was His Eminence Khepje Ganchen Rinpoche. A few days later, Rinpoche was standing on a busy intersection in Tamel, a tourist and backpacker haunt in Kathmandu, when a taxi approached with a bearded Tibetan monk in the front seat. Rinpoche waved and the taxi came to a halt right in front of him. The monk asked, "Who are you?" It was Ganchen Rinpoche. Rinpoche replied, "I don't know why, but I want to meet you." Ganchen Rinpoche said, "Come to my house this afternoon," and gave Rinpoche his address. When Rinpoche arrived at Ganchen Ladrang that afternoon with offerings of fruits, Ganchen Rinpoche stared at him and suddenly proclaimed him to be an incarnation of a high Lama and instructed him to seek recognition from the monastery. This would be the first of many unusual instructions that Ganchen Rinpoche would give Sam Rinpoche. Ganchen Rinpoche was also the one who advised that a biography should be written about Sam Rinpoche's life, as it would be a source of inspiration to others. Rinpoche visited Ganchen Rinpoche many times over the years and received many esoteric teachings and initiations. He was frequently asked to give spontaneous talks to an assembled audience, oftentimes on topics he was unfamiliar with. Although Rinpoche was reluctant to teach, he would do so out of Guru devotion. Despite his age, Rinpoche's teaching style at that time was very traditional, serious and formal, following the scriptures to the letter without any of the jokes or contemporary teaching methods that he so loved for today. One day, Ganchen Rinpoche gave him a friendly slap on the arm and told him, "Relax, you're too old-fashioned. If you're old-fashioned, it would be difficult for you to connect with your students." Rinpoche took this advice to heart and eventually developed the modern, witty, and often entertaining style of teaching the Dharma that has proven so popular with today's modern spiritual seekers. It was only years later that Rinpoche realized Ganchen Rinpoche had been preparing him for his role as a Dharma teacher. In fact, on one of their trips together, Ganchen Rinpoche instructed him to give a talk about the history of a temple to a group of 50 Malaysians. This would be his first connection with Malaysia and herald the beginning of a new phase of his life. As you see the picture of Rinpoche with Ganchen Rinpoche, His Eminence Ganchen Rinpoche. Page 246, caption of the pictures. This photo taken in Ganchen Ladrang in Nepal captures the first time Rinpoche gave a teaching to a group of Malaysians. Page 247, Guru Devotion. Rinpoche's previous life's devotion to his gurus led him to meet and receive teachings and initiations from 16 eminent Dharma masters of Tibetan Buddhism, including His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, His Holiness Kapje Ling Rinpoche, and His Holiness Kapje Pabongka Rinpoche. It is certainly no coincidence that his many renowned gurus include His Eminence Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin of Saramake Monastery. The great master Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin arrived in America in 1971, 1 year before Sem Rinpoche arrived in 1972. Khenso Rinpoche would become Rinpoche's first teacher in Howell, New Jersey, and was instrumental in his early formative years, a direct disciple of His Holiness Kapje Pabongka Rinpoche, and an accomplished master of the Vajrayogini Tantras. Khenso Rinpoche was the guru who bestowed refuge on the young Rinpoche, along with many other teachings and initiations, including the highest Anuttara Yoga, Tantras of Heruka and Vajrayogini. His Holiness Kapje Ling Rinpoche of Drepung Losaling Monastery. Rinpoche was only 11 or 12 years old when he received the oral transmission of Ganden Lagama and a commentary on the Mitsema mantra from His Holiness Kapje Ling Rinpoche at Rashi Gempel Ling in Howell, New Jersey. Prior to the audience with Ling Rinpoche, the young Rinpoche plucked a rose from the garden at home without his mother's knowledge to offer to this great master, having read in a book that one could offer flowers to lamas to make a good connection. When it was Rinpoche's turn to receive a blessing from Ling Rinpoche, he made 3 prostrations and took the flower out of his pocket. To his dismay, it had already wilted. But having no other choice, Rinpoche placed his head on Ling Rinpoche's lap, abruptly tossed the flower onto his lap, and swiftly walked away, hoping his parents did not notice him making the offering, because they would have been extremely upset by this show of devotion. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, the spiritual head of Tibetan Buddhism. In 1979, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama arrived in America to give teachings in Washington, New Jersey. Many Tibetans, Mongolians, and Americans were in attendance, including the young Sem Rinpoche, who received the oral transmission of the 6-syllable mantra of Chenrezig, Om Mani Padme Hum, and a teaching on the 8 verses of thought transformation. Rinpoche also received the Chenrezig Galwa Gyatso initiation from the Dalai Lama in Los Angeles at Geshe Sotrim Gyaltsen's invitation. It was also the Dalai Lama who ordained Sem Rinpoche in Dharamsala, India in October 1987 and gave him the ordination name Tenzin Sopa. Venerable Geshe Sotrim Gyaltsen of Ganden Shatze Monastery. After running away from home, Rinpoche studied under Venerable Geshe Sotrim Gyaltsen, who founded Thupten Darjeeling Dharma Center in Los Angeles. Considered an emanation of Lama Tsongkhapa by many of his devoted students, Geshe-la was a spiritual father to Rinpoche during his difficult years in Los Angeles. It was Geshe-la who formally introduced Rinpoche to the practice of Dharma protector Dorje Shugden. Most importantly, it was Geshe-la who introduced Sem Rinpoche to his root guru, His Holiness Kapje Dzong Rinpoche, thus changing Sem Rinpoche's life forever. His Holiness Kapje Dzong Rinpoche of Ganden Shatze Monastery. His Holiness Kapje Dzong Rinpoche was one of the greatest Tibetan Buddhist masters of the 20th century and the root guru of Sem Rinpoche. Not only did Dzong Rinpoche recognize Rinpoche as a Troku, but he was also influential in Rinpoche's decision to become an ordained monk. Although their time together was short, merely 6 months, it was enough time for Rinpoche to receive many core teachings and initiations, including Yamantaka, Vajrayogini, Chittamanitara, Heruka, Trakpo Sumtril, Avalokiteshvara, Nesung Kundro, Hayagriva, White Tara, Jese Zinma, and practice and Sokte, life entrustment of Dzong Rinpoche's personal Dharma protector, Dorje Shugden. His Holiness the 98th Ganden Tripa, Jetsun Jampel Sempen of Ganden Jangse Monastery. Rinpoche received the initiation of 13 deity Yamantaka and Manjushri from His Holiness the 98th Ganden Tripa, Jetsun Jampel Sempen, whom he first met in Tupten Darjeeling, Los Angeles. Rinpoche recalls that His Holiness cried whenever he spoke about the sufferings of others, similar to the ever-weeping Bodhisattva Sadaprarudita in the Prajnaparamita Sutras. Upon learning that Rinpoche wished to become ordained, His Holiness advised him to recite the Heart Sutra daily, saying, "The essence of the teachings is embodied in the Heart Sutra. So every single day, until you become a monk, you should recite the Heart Sutra to alleviate obstacles in order that you can successfully go to India to become a monk." Page 249. His Holiness Kapje Pabongka Choktru Rinpoche of Saramay Monastery. In 1987, Rinpoche arrived in Ganden Shatse's Shaptengkang Puja House in Dharamsala on the same night as the abbot of Ganden Shatse at that time, Kensol Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche, and His Holiness Kapje Pabongka Rinpoche. Learning that Pabongka Rinpoche was staying in the room next to his, Rinpoche gathered some vitamins he had brought from America, a kata and a small kuyong monetary offering, and offered this to Pabongka Rinpoche. The young Pabongka Rinpoche advised Rinpoche, "Whenever you travel, always remember that your guru and your protector are one. When you recite the mantra of your protector, remember he is your root guru." Sam Rinpoche also received the oral transmission of Medicine Buddha's mantra from Pabongka Rinpoche, who advised him to engage in this practice every single day, while visualizing Medicine Buddha and the Guru as one. His Eminence Kapje Lati Rinpoche of Ganden Shatse Monastery. His Eminence Kapje Lati Rinpoche was a disciple of His Holiness Kapje Trijang Rinpoche and His Holiness Kapje Zong Rinpoche. He was the abbot of Ganden Shatse Monastery for 8 years and remained a pillar of the monastery throughout his life. His wise counsel was highly sought after in the monastery, and he gave Rinpoche much personal advice, teachings, and divinations, including the Yamantaka initiation. It was Kapje Lati Rinpoche who insisted that the 27-year-old Rinpoche travel abroad to teach and raise funds for the building of much-needed monk quarters for Pukang Kanzen, and who cried tears of joy when Rinpoche returned successfully from Malaysia. In 2010, Rinpoche dreamt of Kapje Lati Rinpoche blessing him in a tantric manner, which was the final blessing from this great master before he entered clear light. His Eminence Kensol Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche of Ganden Shatse Monastery. Rinpoche first met His Eminence Kensol Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche at the Ganden Shatse Shaptengkang in Dharamsala. The saintly Kensol Rinpoche was the abbot at that time, and Rinpoche received many initiations and teachings from him. Kensol Rinpoche would eventually be one to formally recognize and enthrone Sam Rinpoche as a Troku through the tradition process of requesting the Dharma protector to take trance in the Oracle of Ganden. Rinpoche served Kensol Rinpoche as the secretary and assistant during his tenure as abbot. Rinpoche also single-handedly brought Kensol Rinpoche's diabetes under control, ensuring all food was regulated, medication given on time, schedules were not too taxing, and personal attendants were trained to take care for the Lama. Rinpoche also invited Kensol Rinpoche to live in Sam Ladrang and planted flowers and trees so that it would be lush and pleasant for his Lama. Over time, Rinpoche became famous for his great acts of devotion to his Guru. His Eminence Khapje Ganchen Rinpoche of Saramay Monastery. His Eminence Khapje Ganchen Rinpoche is well known to be an emanation of the Medicine Buddha and the incarnation of the Mahasiddha Dharikapa. When Rinpoche first met Ganchen Rinpoche on the streets of Thamel, Kathmandu in 1987, he did not know that this Lama would profoundly shape the course of his life. Ganchen Rinpoche had verbally recognized Rinpoche as the reincarnation of a great master and advised him to share his life story with others. Ganchen Rinpoche also transmitted many esoteric teachings, oral transmissions and initiations to Rinpoche, including the practices of Loma Gyoma and Black Manjushri. Page 249. His Eminence Lama Zopa Rinpoche of Sarah J. Monastery. When Sam Rinpoche was in Nepal preparing his travel documentations for India, he consulted Lama Zopa in Kopang Monastery for advice on overcoming certain obstacles. After Rinpoche explained his predicament, Lama Zopa performed a divination and advised Rinpoche to return the next day for a red Sendoma initiation. The next day, Rinpoche returned to Kopang, only to discover that Lama Zopa had spent the entire night doing a Dorje Shugden Puja for Rinpoche. He then told Rinpoche that the initiation was not necessary. Not long after, Rinpoche's visa application was approved. Rinpoche would meet Lama Zopa Rinpoche several more times over the years and receive the initiation of 1000 Am Chenrezig from him, as well as teachings on Vrajayogini's Powa. On one occasion, Rinpoche was in Tushita Meditation Center in New Delhi when he heard that Lama Zopa was there as well. When they met, Lama Zopa exclaimed, "Each time you show up, I'm about to do a Dorje Shugden Puja. Would you like to join me?" Rinpoche declined politely because he already had prior engagements he could not cancel. However, Rinpoche would never forget what Lama Zopa said that day. His Holiness Shapa Choje Jetsun Lobsan Nyingma of Ganden Shatze Monastery. His Holiness Shapa Choje Jetsun Lobsan Nyingma, the Dharma Lord of the East, was an accomplished master of the Vrajayogini Tantras. Rinpoche would serve this great Lama by cutting his nails, filing the base of his feet, washing and perfuming him with Dettol, and washing his clothes. Despite his esteemed position, the 70-year-old Shapa Choje Rinpoche would attend all the teachings given by his guru, His Eminence Khenso Lati Rinpoche, even though Lati Rinpoche's monastic rank was lower than his. When Rinpoche asked Shapa Choje Rinpoche why he attended all the teachings, the Lama explained, "I must plant Dharma imprints in my mind for the future." His humility had a deep impact on the young Rinpoche's mind. His Eminence Denma Locho Rinpoche of Drepung Loseling Monastery. Rinpoche received innumerable teachings and initiations, including the Sukha Gyatsa set of initiations from the Great Master, His Eminence Denma Locho Rinpoche, who hails from Drepung Loseling Monastery. Rinpoche vividly recalls a private audience with this great master, during which the Lama advised, "You must do White Tara practice. You must do it very strongly. Don't forget to do White Tara practice." When Rinpoche asked Denma Locho Rinpoche why he recommended White Tara, revealing that his previous incarnation, Gedun Nyedrak, had entered clear light while in a White Tara retreat, the Lama laughed loudly and said, "If I didn't know that, I wouldn't be a Truku, would I?" Suddenly, the Lama hit Rinpoche very hard on the head. Knowing it was a blessing to remove obstacles, Rinpoche folded his hands and bowed his head to accept the blessing from the clairvoyant Lama. His Eminence Kapje Dagom Rinpoche of Drepung Goma Monastery. Another of Rinpoche's guru was the erudite master, His Eminence Kapje Dagom Rinpoche, from whom Rinpoche received teachings on Lama Tsongkhapa's entire corpus of written works. Dagom Rinpoche taught for 8 hours a day, and it took 3 months to transmit all 18 volumes of Lama Tsongkhapa's writings. The teachings were conducted in Sorry, I got this page wrong. I will replace it. There you go. Right. The teachings were conducted in Drepung Monastery, where there was no electricity. And Rinpoche would fan Dagom Rinpoche for the entire duration of the teachings to keep his guru comfortable. Rinpoche also received quite a few other oral transmission, initiations, and empowerments from Dagom Rinpoche, as well as a Dorje Shugden Sokte as a blessing. In 2005, Rinpoche traveled to Nepal on pilgrimage with a group of Malaysians. On that trip, Rinpoche received teachings from Dagom Rinpoche on the iconography of 3 high lamas who were the previous lives of Dorje Shugden, and an explanation of how to include Dorje Shugden in the Gelug lineage tree. In accordance with Dagom Rinpoche's instructions, special tankas were painted and are now part of Rinpoche's private collection. His Eminence Drigong Kyabgong Rinpoche, Jetsun Lobsan Chozin. His Eminence Drigong Kyabgong Rinpoche is a lay high lama of the Kagyu school, an accomplished master of the Chakrasamvara Tantras, and one of the most highly regarded divination masters in Tibetan Buddhism. Rinpoche received the initiation of the triple deity practice, Trakpo Sumtril, Vrajapani, Hayagriva, Garuda, according to the Nyingma tradition from this great master. Highly clairvoyant, Drigong Rinpoche recognized Sam Rinpoche as a Truku upon sight and issued an official proclamation on his personal letterhead. Drigong Rinpoche also has complete mastery of his psychic winds. Rinpoche has personally witnessed a very drunk Drigong Rinpoche enter a room, close the door, and emerge completely sober after a short meditation session. Drigong Rinpoche was also well known for his ability to train oracles. Before he was officially recognized as a Truku, Sam Rinpoche traveled to Leh, Lakda, to train as an oracle under Drigong Rinpoche, undergoing numerous strict retreats in order to clear and prepare his psychic channels to accommodate the immense energy of the Dharma protector. Rinpoche wished to become an oracle because he thought he could best serve the Dharma and people in this manner. However, when he was officially recognized as a Truku by the monastery, Rinpoche's plans to become an oracle came to an abrupt end. His Eminence Panang Rinpoche of Drepung Losaling Monastery. His Eminence Panang Rinpoche was an extremely learned hermit monk from Treho Kanzang of Drepung Losaling Monastery, who lived and meditated up in the mountains. He was requested to give a month-long oral transmission of important philosophical texts, such as The Ornament of Clear Realization, to the entire monastic assembly, including Rinpoche, and he would come down to the monastery from his mountain abode every single day without fail, wearing ragged robes that he refused to change. Rinpoche also received part of the oral transmissions on the Tangyo, the collection of commentaries on Buddha's teachings, from Panang Rinpoche. Rinpoche observed that Panang Rinpoche would always recite prayers soliciting the blessings of the Gurus stemming from Buddha Shakyamuni in India, all the way down to the current Tibetan Gurus before every teaching. And as he recited their names, he would fold his hands high on top of his head in a gesture of deep reverence. Rinpoche was so inspired by this humble yet supremely accomplished Lama, who reaffirmed his own aspirations to engage in long retreats, that he prayed to become just like him. I've skipped a few pages which were in Chinese, so we'll go straight to page 255, and you see the pictures, and the caption of the picture reads, Rinpoche's previous life's devotion to his gurus led him to receive teachings and initiations from 16 eminent Dharma masters of Tibetan Buddhism, and to meet countless other great lamas, scholars, and teachers. Page 256. More pictures of Rinpoche with his gurus and other high lamas. And with this, I will end here today. And thank you for joining me. There is a prayer session which will take place in Kechara Forest Retreat on the 26th, and this is to bless all the statues and holy items. So if you do have some statues that you would like to receive some blessing, you can actually bring it to Kechara Forest Retreat here. You can call up, or you can actually post your question to my Facebook, and I'll give you further information on that. So, and these are all performed according to the authentic Tibetan Buddhism prayers or pujas. So it's very highly blessed, and your statues will be highly charged. So hope that you can make the trip, and thank you very much. So I'll end this with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Jangyup Senjo Rinpoche, Mage Panam Geyushi, Ge Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondu Pewashu, Toni Toa Rinpoche, Mage Panam Geyushi, Ge Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondu Pewashu, Dasojini Sapage Wadi, Tandandro Waguna Gampada, Ge Pajesu no Santrapai, Tamping Imporidu Sase, Sho, Ge Wagunto Yandala Mada, Drome Choki Pala Loncho Ching, Sadam Langi Yaterazoni, Doje Shamingo Pangotus, Ge Wagunto Yandala Mada, Drome Choki Pala Loncho Ching, Sadam Langi Yaterazoni, Doje Changingo Pangotus, Gewadi, Yududa, Lama Sangyudrune, Joa Chikamalupa, De Sala Gopashu, Choki Kaposungapa, Chosunampa Pewala, Geki Samasi Wadang, Tunki Manu Sawashu, Dadam Sungi de Sunda, Drewa Songi Latene, Gewa Losantrapai, Tampa Yuriva, Yushi, Nimodele Sendele, Nimingunyandele, Nisintatu dele Pel, Concho Sungi Jingilo, Concho Sungi Ngotuso, Concho Sungi Trase, Sho, Jesulama Kusen Rapting Ching, Nam Katrini Chocho Gepada. Gasam tempe drum is of songi, draw a musatoni, you should come with rawe go, shin come them, pendande or malu, ne, challenge it 1 10 gat sohi, shapeshi de baru deng, you she Hom tông bình ngọt rồi mà lupa đến để đó là sel du so có đang đến pa long chọn nam cái pa so shape sụp tên sel. Thank you. I'll be having another reading session tomorrow and hope that you'll be able to join me. Thank you.